So, Kanye West is releasing a documentary, and in that documentary, leaked a clip of him talking about Cardi B, uh, as if she was a government asset for the CIA. Now, that government asset, a government asset, is not to be confused with a an actual government agent, CIA agent that Anderson Cooper allegedly, somebody who actually gets direct orders from the government and carries out those orders. We believe that Cardi B is one that is. We believe that the Mockingbird media is using her, degradation and her, you know, disgust as a woman to propagandize her, disgusting ways to the young ladies. You know what I'm saying? And listen, man, it's a very profitable business. Mockingbird Media sells you the criminal game, and while they filibuster and lobby for more prisons and things of that nature, so they give you some prison music, invest in the prisons, and wait for your ass to get up in them bitches, and when you get your ass out, they here goes your record deal, so you can get your ass, so you can get more people, in this pipeline. You know what I'm saying? And this is another thing, man. On top of the music, just these days, just being you know, murder, death, kill, you know, uh, party and bullshit. You know, the actual tone. Shout out to the Vatican. The actual default tone, the default frequency of the music is a frequency that will, you know, rattle your DNA apart. It's 440 440 hertz frequency is a frequency that literally scrambles your DNA, you know. It doesn't matter if you're playing gospel, doesn't matter if you're playing drill music, man. What's going to happen is that eventually your nerves will get irritable and you will be more susceptible to doing, you know, the BS that the music will is suggesting for you to do. You couple that along with the fact that these so-called rappers are supposed to be so-called real, and you're listening for the authenticity, and if they're not doing what they're rapping about, then you don't want to listen, and it's a whole lot of things that goes into the hypnosis of the BS that's going around, man, caused by the Mockingbird media. We believe on purpose. We can't, definitively say it. And, it is what it is. Shout out to the Mockingbird media. You know, listen, man, this guy in the middle of this screen is called. His name is Jim Morrison. He's the leader of what we deem as the hippie movement, man. What is the hippie movement? Man, come on, man. This is America, man. We've been in America. We've been America for a couple hundred years only, man, and we've been at war for 90% of the time, man. Stop fighting. You know, it was a movement to stop the continuous wars that America was propagandizing and making profits off of continuously and over and over, And listen, man, that message was getting to and reaching people that had suits and ties on, people that you just knew were going to a cubicle on the 80th floor just to sit there all day and go back straight back to the crib when it was done. You know, the straight and narrow types, the business types of people, is the people that the hippie movement's rhetoric was reaching. And listen, man, when you try and spread a positive message, the Mockingbird media has to step their ass in, man, and that they did. And only in the blink of an eye were the hippies considered a drug movement, and 27 Club, a 27 Club eventual member movement and things of that nature. Now it's about doing heroin and smoking and LSD. You know what I'm saying? Now it's about how you're looking and not what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Mockingbird media, much like they did hip hop. You know, people were speaking good speaking good talks and things of that nature, man. And listen, man, Mockingbird Media had to gangsterize it up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know. this is another thing, but Jim Morrison, yes, he tried to lead the movement that tried to go against what was at the time the Vietnam War, but what we don't understand, or and especially what he did not want us to understand, was that his dad orchestrated what is called the Gulf of Tonkin, which initiated and started the Vietnam War. Oh man, you see, Jim Morrison, um, he he was a military baby, man, and he stayed in a little town called Laurel Canyon. Laurel Canyon is a place in Hollywood. You know, it's there in Hollywood, man. All right, Laurel Canyon is a canyon in Hollywood that's below a mountain called Lookout Mountain. Now, what is Lookout Mountain, man? Lookout Mountain is a mountain that the Mockingbird media made most of their movies, TV shows, and things of that nature at the time. All right. So Laurel Canyon is a place where a lot of military people went. Just so happened to be in Hollywood, man. All right. Military goes and lives in Hollywood, man. And all of these military babies. Hold up. Here's a couple of names of these famous bands in the 60s that are straight military kiddies, man. All right. High ranking, intelligence officers, kids in Laurel Canyon, that just so happen to be very high, you know, very high up in the hippie ranking as far as fame. All of them from the same area, and all of them going to Lookout Mountain to the Mockingbird Media headquarters at the time, because now it's not because it's owned by Jared Leto. Shout out to Big Chin Music. You know what I'm saying? They went to the Mockingbird Media headquarters and got their music recorded by a band that wasn't even them. And these bands that did that are, of course, Jim Morrison and the Doors. He was the lead singer of the Doors. Jim Morrison did not even know how to play music when he started off, nigga. Couldn't even sell shows at his live show. Couldn't even sell tickets at his live shows because he was trash. Come on, man. Frank Zappa, Mamas and the Papas, The Birds, The Monkees, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and John Phillips. Now, you may not understand or know these bands or the influence that they had on the people, especially the white people in the 60s and the 70s, right? But we might as well have rattled off names like Zulu Nation and LL Cool J, EPMD, and Queen Latifah, man. When we're talking about influences of a certain genre of music that be in the hippie movement, man, um, it is what it is. This is fact. Charles Manson, yes, the 5'4" serial killer. He is cutting a jig with his guitar, singing along with a lot of these famous celebrities. Man, Jimi Hendrix is from Laurel Canyon. I believe Janis Joplin is from Laurel Canyon. There's no way around this shit, man. All right, you know what I'm saying? Hmm? Okay, so Charles Manson, when he was cutting his jig with the people, he was trying to get on. He was at the Hollywood, Mockingbird Media Studios, trying to get signed and trying to get a record deal, And once he found out that the Mockingbird Media was not going to give him his big break, that is when and only when he went on his killing spree. All right. What about the introduction to psychedelics and LSD that came, by way of the hippie movement, man? That was an orchestrated, thing, given by the Mockingbird Media. Do you know that, the CIA was authorized to give some of these bands millions of tabs of LSD, man? Do you know about MK Ultra techniques and how much LSD was specifically used as far as the experimental drug to test, what is the best way to control a person's mind? Like, you know what I'm saying? Disco movement. Shout out to Bam. Not shout out. We don't rock with them like that, but the Zulu Nation and all of this started out with the funk. The funk music and things of that nature, man. It's a lot of LSD type things going on with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Come on, man. You know? You think it's a game, but it's really not. All right? Shout out to Cardi B. Yes, of course, she's a government agent. You know, no, she's a government asset. You know, we don't believe she's a government agent, man. But we do believe she is being used, much like so many of the others in the past were used to influence and degrade the youth. You know, it is what it is. Um, you should not believe that people can have so much influence and not, you know, be touched or have a hand, that powerful hand of power, reaching out and touching them. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It's ridiculous to think that. Do you think that the Mockingbird media would go with the move on such a level on the white people, but not the black people, when we all know that the black people have so much more influence, and we believe over here with these mega facts that the Mockingbird media found that out when the rap music took off. You know what I'm saying? And listen, man. They turned up that BS in the overdrive, man. Shout out to the Hot Boys, man. We are not proud of, you know, how, what, the wave that they influenced. We're not proud of NWA and the wave that they influenced and things of that nature. But it is what it is, man. You know.